Hi, my name is Karen Guerrero, and my project is called Go Geo Wild with Pokemon Go. I created a lesson to engage the adventurous students who are super excited about the Pokemon Go phenomenon that's happening right now. My lesson is for sixth grade. However, I've done it with many grade levels and even at the college level with working with pre-service teachers. It covers various standards. Geography is the main focus of the standards, but math is included, including statistics and probability and building charts and graphs using data. Technology standards, focusing on information literacy and using digital tools. And language standards, really focusing on communication and having students present their findings to their peers. So this lesson is really to catch the excitement of Pokemon Go, which as you may know is quite the hot topic right now. And students get so excited when they find out geospatial technologies are all around them, and Pokemon Go uses those geospatial technologies. This lesson will then apply that information and use Google Docs to gather, analyze, and present information. There's various materials that are needed. One is using a Google map of Pokemon, which can be found pretty much anywhere around the world. Google is very Pokemon friendly. Computers and tablets with Wi-Fi connection. However, I did do it with one class with no technology and it worked beautifully. I'm sure you can see the variances you can take depending on your tools that you have. Local regional maps. I borrowed some maps from AAA. They were very generous in providing one map per group for my class. And then the worksheets that are provided in this lesson plan. Key vocabulary is focusing on statistical question, numerical data, histogram, although you can change that to circle graph or bar graph depending on your grade level, geospatial technologies, and the community. The objectives for this is to interpret a Google map to identify data, to recognize and develop a statistical question, to construct a histogram to display numerical data, and to use Google Slides to synthesize data and to produce relevant information for a target audience. So I followed the 5E format when doing this. So to engage, I asked the kids, what would happen if aliens invaded Earth? And sure enough, they have, because if you turn on the Pokemon Go app, you will see aliens at your church, home, school, park, and everywhere in between. We then watched a short video to really understand what geospatial technologies were and how they're used with Pokemon, because Pokemon uses GIS and GPS, and the kids were excited. They got so excited that they already knew what geospatial technologies are and wanted to talk all about that. I then have the students explore a local Google map of Pokemon, which you can just Google search, and they identify different Pokemon that could be found near their school, near their home, at a local park, and at some landmarks near our area. We then had them discuss what numerical data was. Really understanding what data is important, and after they realized all the data that could be collected with Pokemon Go, they got to discover that they got to decide on their own statistical question, their own information they wanted to find out about. They then got to explore the data. So for this lesson, I do not have students go out and actually collect Pokemon. However, I did make it an extra credit family activity they could do over the weekend, and families were so excited to be involved in collecting data in their own neighborhoods. They then present their findings by analyzing the data, creating charts, which was such a fun project, realizing that charts tell the story so much better than just spreadsheets. And then they presented their findings in a presentation using a rubric and guidelines. So you can see here an example of one of their presentation slides. You can see them exploring a local map, finding out where they're located, where school is related to their home, where the coolest park is to collect some fun Pokemon. And there was lots of extensions that they could do by creating their own maps, by collecting their own data. Here's some images. Now I did blur out the faces so they're not recognizable, but you can see they were totally engaged the entire lesson. And I even presented this at the college level, and the college kids got super excited about lessons that they could do in the classroom, and it got into the GeoPlan Bulletin, the weekly magazine for the geography department. So this lesson builds curiosity and supports the adventurous student in the classroom. It supports communication skills, and it really promotes new frontiers and technologies that are explored, because Pokemon Go really supports geospatial technologies that you can use today. Thank you.